I really contemplated whether or not I was going to answer this WWKD submission because there is absolutely no detail, no context, no info of any sorts. It is just one blanket statement, and it honestly makes me go, Ultimately, I am deciding to respond to it because the stuff I'm going through at work right now, like the ridiculous drama, I feel like can be somewhat applied to this kind of statement. Like I can see someone at work saying this to me, and this is what I would say in response to them. I'm gonna make the assumption that this person is in high school. I mean, maybe middle school, but I'm going with high school. And my biggest problem with this statement, this submission, is the claim that all of their classmates are toxic, because that just implies everyone else is the problem. And you have done nothing wrong, you have no faults, you are not the problem. And my biggest pet peeve these days, especially as I get older, is accountability, or the lack of accountability in people these days, of all ages, okay? And here's the thing, you can never control anyone else's actions. You can't control anyone else's thoughts, opinions, what they say, what they do. You have no control over that. The only thing you have control of is your own words, thoughts, and actions. And by saying everyone else is toxic and making the accusation that everyone else is the problem is deflecting any blame or responsibility on yourself. Now, granted, this is just how I'm interpreting this statement, that you are deflecting all responsibility of your actions, that you have done nothing wrong, that you are this perfect angel and everyone else is the problem. And here's the thing, nobody's perfect. Nobody is fully blameless. Nobody is fully innocent in the situation. Like, you can't tell me every other person is the problem and that you have done absolutely nothing wrong. And this goes for no matter what age or what situation you're in. When I was in high school, I took chorus, and my chorus teacher always valued instilling in us life lessons. He would literally spend a whole class period just lecturing us on life lessons based on whatever happened, whatever led to it, over teaching us music, over us practicing our chorus songs, because he believed teaching us life lessons and to try and help influence us to be good people was more important than teaching us how to read music, how to sing, because what are the chances that however many kids in the class are going to all go into some career of music, you know? And he actually taught us a great lesson that is perfect for this situation. Whenever you want to point your finger and blame other people, so you're going to let me orient myself to the camera. So when you want to go point and say, this person is the problem, this person did this, that person did that, they are the problem, not me. My chorus teacher always said, you want to point your finger at somebody. How many fingers are pointing at them? One. How many fingers do you have pointing at yourself? And if you look at it, let me turn this way, you have 3 fingers pointing at yourself. And the point he was trying to make, if it's not clear, is to be aware of your own actions. Be aware of your own behaviors, your thoughts, whatever, your words. Because you want to point your finger at other people, but you have 3 pointing back at yourself. So you better make sure you are damn perfect. You have no faults. You have done absolutely no wrong. And you have carried yourself truly in a manner where nothing negative can be said about your actions. Because only when you are truly perfect and have absolutely no faults can you then go and point blame at other people. But the thing is, none of us are ever going to be fully blameless, fully perfect, because that's just not possible. We are always going to have some sort of fault, whether we said something that we didn't mean, whether we had a moment of weakness and we decided to be petty or passive aggressive, or we didn't handle a situation properly, but in hindsight, we could have done this, and you corrected forward, but you already made the mistake. The point is not to shame you into becoming perfect, because again, perfect is ultimately not attainable, and you shouldn't try to be perfect. The point is just to make you realize and think about your own actions. How are you carrying yourself? And I would say very rarely are any of us truly blameless in a situation. This person claiming all of their classmates are toxic, I highly doubt that. And I'm not saying the person who submitted this is necessarily wrong in whatever they might have done. I think it is fair to say that they are not perfect. If you're in high school or middle school, you're still growing, you're still learning, you don't know everything, which is fine. They're growing and learning, but you're not going to be blameless. So making the claim that all of their classmates are toxic and that they're not the problem, not going to work out for me. The next part of the submission is, I don't know what I have to do in school. I'm assuming they are asking, what do I do in school if everyone else is not a good influence? And I think that's a great example of the accountability part, because can they honestly say they have tried absolutely everything to make friends? Have they spoken to every single person in that school, regardless of grade? Have they gone out of their way to invite people to sit with them in a class or lunch or stir up conversation in an extracurricular? Have they gone up and asked to join people? Have they always been kind and genuine? There's so many parts to this. And again, I have absolutely no context, so I'm kind of just rambling. My point is, until you have done absolutely everything, like I literally mean, have you gone up to every single student in that school building and tried to be friends with them? And you're telling me every single student is toxic, every single student is a bad influence, every single student is negative, mean, a bully, whatever. It's really hard to believe. But something I want to mention is that I actually had a submission. It was going to be the next one I responded to, but unfortunately she retracted her submission. She said she regretted submitting it and that she was sorry. But I bring this up to say it was a 14-year-old girl who wrote me a book, okay? Like, she added every freaking detail she could. But what really impressed me was her level of self-awareness. And on top of that, the accountability that she was trying to hold herself to. That's what really impressed me. And honestly, I hope she sees this video and that she gets to this portion, because I was wowed, because the level of self-awareness in a 14-year-old, I just feel like it's unheard of, because no fault to them. They're just young and still developing hormones, you know. So I was truly impressed, and her whole situation was a bit complicated, but I remember her saying like, hey, this is what I did. This is what I did wrong. And I recognized that what I did was wrong. How do I move forward from it? It was something along those lines. But the fact that she acknowledged what her actions were, that what she did was wrong, and that she wanted to change and move on, and that she wanted to show others that she had changed and that she was different, and, you know, she learned from her mistakes, I was truly shocked. Because if even just like half of the people on this planet had the level of self-awareness that this teenager had, and had the sense of accountability that she had, we would truly be in a better place. This person didn't leave me an email address for me to notify them to say, hey, I responded to your submission. So I have no idea if they're going to see this. I hope those of you watching can take away something from this video. The takeaway being accountability, self-accountability, because I truly think the world could be so much better if everyone just had some accountability. Take responsibility of your actions, your thoughts, your feelings, your words, because nobody's perfect.